Hey, how's it going? I have some cards. Whoa, what the heck are these? Oh, accidentally pulled some out when I was taking the book out. Well, that's interesting. Let me just deal with the ones that I meant to pull out. So I don't have like a theme or a question or anything. I'm just gonna wing it. But I'm sure I'll find something to babble about. I pulled one card from the Declarations of Mary Magdalene deck, and it says, "Our truth is that which dwells in our hearts, not our heads." It's just such a small sentence, I still mangled it. Our truth is that which dwells in our hearts, not our heads. Our truth is that which dwells in our hearts, not our heads. That makes me think of the whole first thought. Can everything just stop doing things over there? I cleaned up and now everything is newly positioned and it doesn't know how to act, I guess. Anyway, yeah, the first thought thing, like, when you have, sorry, I thought I stepped on something weird, but it's, it's the end of my sock. Anyway, the first thought, like when you have something happen, or something is presented to you somehow in some way that causes you to go, something, and then your brain steps in and starts second guessing everything, and this has probably happened to you where something happened, a thing, and you went to say another thing, and then you stopped yourself and did some what if and crap, and you just messed yourself all up because the second thought was the wrong answer, and then later you find out that the first thought was the right thing all along, and you go, oh, I knew it, I should have said that. Has that not happened to you? So, first and second thought. I don't know. Well, actually, I was going to say, I don't know why we don't trust our first thought. I think it's because we're taught not to. It's just like second nature to have a second thought, but we ignore first nature. And then it turns out to be right more often than not because, I don't know, you're speaking from your heart and your logic is not able to get involved immediately. But then your ego, I guess, has to step in arm with the logic and elbow heartfelt sentiment out of the way that knew what was going on in the first place. But, you know, the heart answer is over there going, you'll see. That's what it makes me think of. And so, there are so many things going on right now that I could talk about, but I would sound like a nutball because a lot of the crazy stuff I actually don't think is that crazy. Maybe once upon a time, but not anymore. But, this is like a divining rod to follow your heart, because your heart is as close to it's closer to your intuition, to your gut, than it is to your brain that'll start, you know, attacking the first thought or the idea of the whatever the thing is. And, you know, it's like, this is not going to make sense to everybody, but if you partake of the cannabis, you will likely have experienced this thing where you'll be watching some show, and regardless of how you felt about it before, maybe you liked it, maybe you were neutral, maybe you hated it, but in that particular temporary state of mind, you'll be like, this show's all right. I like this show. Same with music. Like, I'm not a Grateful Dead fan. I get it, why people like them. They're just not my thing. But if I've had like a brownie or a gummy or a smoky, I'll be like, this ain't bad. This is all right. I mean, I've been to one of their concerts. That was an interesting experience. So anyway, not to get sidetracked. I did get sidetracked though. What the heck does that? Oh, so yeah, the second thought is like the cannabis brain when you're looking at something that normally you would just kind of disdain or dislike or discount, but normally you don't want anything to do with it. But sometimes you find yourself in situations, you're like a guest at someone's house and you find yourself having to watch. I was gonna name a show, but I'm not gonna do it. But it's no longer on. It just ended recently. It's fairly big. It's in syndication. I think it was in syndication while it was running. So maybe I could just say it like it's not gonna really matter. But maybe you're a fan of The Big Bang Theory. I'm a fan of Johnny Galecki, and I'm a fan of. Oh, come on, brain. Oh, come on. I can't think of her husband's name that she just married and has a baby with. The blonde. The ditz across the hall. I can't even think of the character's name because I didn't watch that show. But I did have occasion to see it a couple of times when I was impaired. When I was impaired, it made me like a show I don't like. I can't even go that far. What is her name? She's in so many good shows, and I can't think of her name. Anyway, so your heart will give you a true account, a true answer, and that's why I said divining rod. Like, you could follow that, but if you're doing something like using a divining rod, I haven't, but I just feel like this is the case. You gotta have your head. You gotta have your head right. You can't be going in there all. What is a stick gonna do? This ain't gonna work. What does a stick know? Or you're in a haunted house and you're like, everyone else is telling you, man, this place is haunted. I live here. I'm telling you it's haunted. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't think they're real. Next thing you know, something you didn't see scratched the shit out of you or pinched you or something. And there's no explanation of anyone else. Like, you can't debunk it as, like, the best you could come up with is, like, I didn't see anything, there's nothing there. And then you might get scratched again because just because you can't see it doesn't mean something's not there. I lived in a haunted house, so I can tell you that, you know, that particular phenomenon, that's real. So, but anyway, I don't even know why I went over there. Oh, the divining rod. So yeah, I wouldn't be so skeptical. Skepticism will get in the way of things that are not at all related to mysticism, like if you doubt your own ability to perform some task, like an impending meeting where you gotta, you know, please a bunch of people, or some exam you gotta take that's really important. You don't want to be going in there like, I'm a loser. I might as well just go home. I've already failed. And that's what'll happen. So, you know, when it comes to using something as sensitive as a divining rod, there has to be an exchange, and there has to be an alignment, a vibrational alignment. And the stick knows that it's going to divine. It knows what to do. But it, I believe, gains the power to actually operate when it has a person that believes the stick can do what the stick can do. That's not the only kind of divining rod, but it's just an example. So anyway, the heart is going to tell you the truth. That's the gist. The mind is going to tell you a bunch of stuff, and you have to work a lot harder to figure out what is the actual true thing here. Not unlike the current times. What is the actual true thing here is something that we're going to have to be asking ourselves many multiples of times going forward, years, I think. So get ready for that. Yay! Okay, so I have two cards from the Starseed Oracle deck, and the first one is the Great Severing. Here is the card's picture. It looks like red rocks in space. Or, I don't know, like red rocks behind some kind of protective dome where outside the space is doing unusual things. It doesn't have to be the red rocks here, although those are the ones I'm referring to. This does not necessarily have to be an Earthscape. This is the Starseed Oracle. This could be some star. So, I'm not familiar with this one. What my impression of it is, though, is I've kind of been just taking a break on the whole Starseed thing for a minute, and it kind of, like, everything is a little much right now, so I've really retreated to other things that have nothing to do with the current reality and questioned realities that are questioned. So I haven't been watching them. I mean, I watched one I think yesterday or two. Yeah, I think I watched two yesterday, but they, between the two channels that produce this stuff for the Galactic Light Federation and the Confederation, Galactic Confederation, which is, there's just two of the groups that would and do talk through these channels on YouTube. They put out a lot of content, so I can't watch everything. It's like a lot, and it's not bad programming that the GFL puts out, Galactic Federation of Light. It's just that it's not just words being said to you. It's like activations and I don't know what else. But I mean, after I watch them, while I'm watching them, I feel like there's a lot going on. I feel like, and I'm allowing this, but I feel like it's like that old thing they used to say about television, where like if you watch it, it rots your brain, as if like something was directly coming from the screen, like acid, and coming in through your eyes and rotting your brain. Something along those lines is happening there when you watch those videos, and then they have stuff to say about what's on the thumbnail and stuff to say about, you know, topical stuff like what's happening in the world and in the United States, but they don't really focus on that entirely. That's sort of like that's also happening too thing. Mostly what they seem to be doing is imparting information, and a lot of it I feel is like while you're watching it, it's like being in a meditation, if you I guess allow it to be that. So anyway, let me see. Oh, so God, long way around. Okay, so I didn't watch it yet, but I had seen The Split is happening as the title. The Split is happening tonight. I don't know, something like that, for one of those Galactic Federation videos, and I was like, oh, again? How many times are we gonna split? Anyway, they can address that. But I thought of that when I saw The Great Severing, because the severing that I'm referring to, I'm not sure what they're referring to yet. We have to look at the book, but the severing, the split that the GFL videos are referring to are from 3D to 5D consciousness. So yeah, we still have to wait and see what that's gonna look like. Okay, The Great Severing. I'm gonna hum. I'm like humming. Does anyone remember Dusty's Treehouse? Every once in a while, I find myself busting out in the theme to Dusty's Treehouse. No, I'm not gonna do it for you. The Great Severing. So the subtitles are Mars Energy War, Energy Anger, Conflict, Softening to Love. Why does that seem so topical? This is a shadow card. No kidding. One that may feel confrontational. Don't be afraid. It's here to bring to the surface anything that's standing in the way of letting love in. I'll fight you for it. I'll fight you to love you. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get a little silly. You may have noticed. The warring planet of Mars is our constant reminder that it's important to soften, forgive, and find our way back to love. There are many things in the human experience that make it difficult for our heart and soul to stay open to the never-ending source of love. I'm gonna read that again better. There are many things in the human experience that make it difficult for our heart and soul to stay open to the never-ending source of love. Well, yeah, I mean, constantly getting hit with the human slings and arrows make me want to curl up like a potato bug. What can get through that armor? I mean, but you learn to deflect because I don't know if this happens to other people, but I have encountered people a few times in my life that if I'm like getting like angry about something or upset about something, they'll just like keep poking me in a way that'll just until I laugh because they know I'm gonna laugh, so they get me out of it that way. I don't know why anymore that I brought that up, but let me go back to the book. Maybe I'll remember. Oh, well, yeah, that's right. I'll be all mad, and I'll be all Mars wanting a war, and they'll be all soften up, get a giggle. It's really not that serious. Like wars are, but my stuff is not. Get a giggle. Okay, back to the book. Back to the manual. There are many things in the human experience. Oh, I already read that. We're all wounded, and our unconscious wounds inflict wounds on others. I mean, how unconscious are yours? I kind of know when mine are doing stuff. And I guess because that I'm able to recognize and see them coming, I've gotten better at not doing that thing. It's helping me get out of it. So, yay me. Okay, it can feel like a never-ending dance we can never escape. Thanks. If we aren't careful, before long we'll see the world as scary. We'll see the world as a scary, dangerous place where fear and anxiety can roam free, or where fear and anxiety roam free. I don't know why I'm adding words, but yeah, I mean, I was just sort of, well, not sort of, I just did it on Friday on Blue Sky, which is the social media, like, microblog site where I, have direct back and forth with people. I had written a post that just said, don't give in to the fear, it's gonna work against you, and that was it. Because it's true. Like, you can get sucked into it, and fear has a way of, like, finding little levers to pull to undo us. Like, it'll find some emotional place that's ripe to be plundered for fear factor, I guess. And it can, like, spin us out. And you know how spins are. I mean, I spin out just losing track of what I'm saying. And it goes crazy places that maybe I don't even mean to be going, but it happens. And I feel like that happens. I know it happens to me emotionally, or it has. I'm getting better at that, too, because that's just not a fun place to be. I can't, like, give you a technique. I think that's something we each have to figure out individually, but I will say that being conscious of things as much as possible and trying to, like, crank up the self-awareness, I think helps a lot. And also meditation, paying more attention to, like, the reactions you get when you interact with people. Like, if you see people having some sort of pained look, while they're talking to you, it might have to do with you. You have to ask a question. You know, you don't have to be aggressive, but there are ways. Like, I don't know if we can all still remember how to have a conversation. It feels like we have difficulty with that, but sidetracked again. Let me get back to this thing. So, yeah. If we aren't careful, before long, we'll see the world as a scary, dangerous place where fear and anxiety roam free and rule us. Okay, if this card surfaces, it could be for two reasons. Firstly, for you to acknowledge the difficult emotions, situation, conflicts, wounds, and fears that are causing your pain and anxiety. And secondly, for you to find your way back to love. Well, if I may just opine for a moment and say, I feel like when you acknowledge the difficult emotions of situations, conflicts, wounds, and fears, you are constructing a path. Like you're clearing your obstacles that are like in between you and love on your path. There. When we're hurt, it's normal to close off our heart to the world, to let the painful experience confirm the agony of separation in earthly life. Soften and find your way back to love anyway. Eventually you do, but I think this is talking about like taking the initiative and like don't wait around and like wallow in self-pity forever. Just like, all right, that sucked. Let me huff and puff for a minute, but I gotta get up on Monday and get back to my life, get back to work, kind of thing is what I'm thinking they were pointing to here. When we're hurt, okay, I already read that. Read that too. When fear, anxiety, and paranoia paralyze you, it's normal to want to hide away from others and the world. Come out of your cave and soften your heart anyway. We're all innocent children spinning our way around the world. Find a way to see the innocence in all people, especially yourself. I feel like especially right now, that's always a tall order. It is hard to perceive yourself the way others do, which I think you need to do because we are like self-blind in a lot of ways. Like, how do you experience yourself? I mean, I talk to myself, but I don't know if that's the same as coming outside of myself and having a conversation with myself and engaging with me, you know? And that's going to be a different experience for every person, I think. I know every person that I know, I have to give something different to. I have to either be a different self. You tune to that person like it's a dang radio dial. You know, everyone's not the same. Okay, so Starseed inquiry. How are you cutting yourself off from love? How can you soften toward those who have hurt you? Those are questions for you, my friend. Okay, so the next card is, I suppose, I guess I still have to say something about this. So, remember when I was saying that this was like where you are, and then this over here was beyond, like a dome, a field or something? It's interesting that I said that, because this card, Surrender to the Sweetness, I feel like is, okay, you did all the hard work, you stumbled all over your broken obstacles, and you went through the unpleasantness of self-awareness, and you're making your way to love, and so surrender to the sweetness. Here on the card appear to be a pair of lovers. Dude's already there, and she's making her way to him. I don't know what's happening beyond that, like, but he looks like he's, yeah, he actually is like, You know when you want to get somebody wet and you like move your arm and spray water at him? Where is he? There he is. So there, look, spray. There's his arm, and he's like spraying it. It's going way over here, nowhere near her though, by the way. But the point is like he's going, come on, come in, it's great, come on in. And I don't know, she's just arrived, and she's like, I didn't bring a bathing suit. He's like, I don't care. That's okay, or something. So, but yes, they do look to have found themselves in a beautiful, pleasant place, and they got is each other. They're all alone. Okay, surrender to the sweetness. Let's see what the book says. Let me get serious now. I don't know if I can. 112. Okay. A little bit more. A little bit. Come on. There we go. Hey, hello. Thank you. Okay. Surrender to the sweetness. And the subtitles on this one are, rather, Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. Yes, now that you're done making war, make love to life. Make some new lives after the war, because presumably subtractions happen because of those. So, it's a reset. It's a natural, it's also a natural response to grief to find someone to get down with. Hey, it happens. Hasn't happened to me, but I've heard and seen in fiction and reality. That's a thing. Okay, let me read. Oh, why am I way there? Okay. This is a sensual, highly feminine card. It's a call to surrender to the sweetness of life, to let the overabundant feminine take over. Oh, ever abundant, not overabundant. Feminine take over. To taste the fruits you've been working so hard to grow. To let your senses take over and really drink in life with wonder. Without defense, like you can just feel safe and be free finally, is the vibe I'm getting from this spot they landed in. To get to let your senses take over and really drink in your life with wonder. To get intoxicated on the simple bounty that this planet has to offer and which you have within you when your well is full. The ancient Babylonians connected the feminine goddess Ishtar to the planet Venus, and in Roman mythology, Venus was the goddess of love and beauty. In our night sky, aside from the moon, Venus shines the brightest. Time is our most precious resource, and it's the greatest healer. If you've been all work and no play, this is a sign to take some time out, to reconnect with your lover, play with your children, give yourself the luxury of time without an agenda. Many of us are so busy building our lives that we forget to enjoy them. We forget why we decided to build them in the first place. Disconnection from the sweetness causes more pain than we realize. So many of us walk into soulless buildings 5 days a week in the name of survival. We strive to build a life of our dreams, but drive ourselves to exhaustion. This card is wooing you back to the pleasures of being human, to focusing on what really matters and enjoying your incredible life. Okay, so, that, I feel like, requires just a little bit of discussion. Hold on, I gotta... Okay, so, this is like saying, whatever is going on outside in the world around you, I'm gonna I'm going to talk about a technique that I use to sort of bring me back if I feel myself kiting away on some kind of fear, and you know, there's a chance that I can just float off and go, you know, a little nuts. Like, you can drive yourself crazy with the fear and the what ifs, and you can become paranoid, and it's like, no, thank you. I don't want to do that. Because, okay, well, here's the thing. Here's the thing I learned to do to sort of pull myself back into the moment, was to simply say here and now. Here and now is where I am. Here and now is not where wars are actually happening, so I can calm down about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you start thinking about that stuff, and you go there, like your mind or whatever, your imagination is just all, it feels like this, it looks like this, and then that cranks up your emotions. And the same goes for watching certain things. You know, the Galactic Federation was, and even before I started watching, well, actually, I think it doesn't matter. The ETs in general, the visitors in general, have said over the years that I've been like paying attention to their YouTube channels that we make it harder for ourselves by trying to project too far into the future what's going to happen, and also projecting in the past, and sort of trying to stay there when you're physically moving forward. Like, time is each sun up, each day is moving you further and further away from the past, but you can mentally sort of get stuck there, and so that's not healthy. And either way, it could become it could make you anxious, which is also not a healthy state to be in all of the time. And our current world sort of breeds that all of the time anxiety state. It's there, the 24/7 news cycles there every time you want to dive in and get nervous. And so I find it like you can turn it off, but your brain will still be going, and or at least mine does, and it just tries to be an endless loop of, oh, did you see this? Oh, this happened, and oh my god. Dude, you can't be like that all the time. You just be, how annoying would you be if you were with the person that was like that? Or you wouldn't be annoying, they would be annoying, you would be annoyed. Anyway, you know, there are places like this that exist, either like in your mind or actual spa resorts that you could go to. But the point is that you don't need to actually go someplace like that. You can remind yourself that you are here and now. Certainly there's something that you do or did always that was restorative to you, that brought you back to yourself, took you away from like the noise of reality right now, which is like it doesn't have a lot of positive stuff to say. So I don't know, it makes me tired. Like, I just feel like I don't have to really try that hard to, let me stop doing this for a while and go meditate or go do anything else. Anything to take my mind off of this thing over here that's so anxiety-inducing or paranoia-inducing. Like, who needs that? So, here and now is just a reminder, like, wait, you're not, those situations that you're learning about are upsetting, but you're not actually there. You're not the people you're reading about. You're not the people suffering. You're not the people causing the suffering. Don't get it twisted. Get it in perspective, is my advice. So, okay, I guess I'm done. This is always waiting for you. Again, you don't necessarily have to physically go anywhere, but you can, in your imagination, you can certainly do that. And if your imagination works extra super stronger than other people, you know, maybe you can go places. I don't know. I'm not saying you can't. Anyway, thank you and good night.